All right, so we're going to start. I think I'd like to start with a bit of an uncomfortable truth, as it were. Um, so, if you're currently building the courses, like you say you've done that. You could be building the courses on lots of different systems. There's loads out there. But let's just say that you start with your Google Doc and you're doing this in secret, you've not told anybody about it, and at this point, you've not sold a single course yet, you've not sold a single place. Now, it might be that you're in that creation phase and you've got this idea, I want to create the whole course before I actually start selling it, which is fine. A lot of people do that, and a lot of people do that very successfully. The thing is, though, I don't want you to waste 6 months of your life basically building something that only your mum and your best friends think is a really good idea. And like I say, sometimes it's not even necessarily the idea, it's the way the idea lands. So it's quite good to kind of practice before you've put it all together. I mean, I've done it myself. I've built hundreds of courses. I've been in business for over 30 years now. And for those of you that have come on to the event today, and those of you that are in the recording that don't know me, my name is Sunny. I've actually been teaching people how to teach for the last 30 years. And I started business running we used to call it Party Plan in those days. I ran a party plan company. I then went on to run a very successful multi-million pound IT training company. I had over 30 staff, and I've created other training companies. A lot of my clients have been corporate clients and also solo entrepreneurs as well. So I don't only teach the art of building a course, I teach the art of actually selling that course as well, and also the art of teaching people because we all learn in different ways. And you can often buy courses that are sort of off the shelf courses, and the person that's teaching it doesn't actually have a clue in how to impart that message so that it will actually land. So today is kind of about certainty. I want to give you that certainty, not a feeling, not a vibe, not a hope, but absolute certainty that your course is actually going to sell. Now, the course itself probably isn't failing because you're not smart enough. Absolutely, it's not that because you're smart enough to build a course. You're smart enough to know that your expertise actually does sell in other ways. It may be that you are doing one-on-one coaching or that you are an agency and you're providing a particular service for people. It's usually failing because you're building it on an assumption that people need it. That's the first thing. So, how can we actually discover whether people actually need this course or not? And a lot of that is down to research and research in a lot of different ways. We assume that they will love it, and we assume that because we feel excited. We feel excited about this. We think, oh, everybody's got to know this. And we assume that they'll buy it. And we assume that they'll buy it because we might have thought to ourselves, well, I've got it at the right price. It's a kind of no-brainer. And they'll just come in floods and floods and floods and buy that course. But of course, that is down to the marketing itself. So the assumption is not the strategy. And I often say this to my clients, don't don't spend all this time creating something until you absolutely know for certain that it is going to sell. I remember all those years ago when I first started business, 30 plus years ago, I went on to a marketing course that was done by I think then it was the Chamber of Commerce, but it was a government led thing and it was to help new business owners. And I remember this guy actually saying on the course, one of the ways that he sees businesses fail is that they go to the expense of getting a desk, getting their computer, getting their staff without actually knowing whether their product that they want to sell actually will sell. So he used to say to us, the first thing that you've got to do is actually find out whether what you've got is going to sell before you've actually created all of the infrastructure for it. And I think that that's actually served me well over the years, is I always check first whether something is going to sell. And sometimes, I'll put something out and I can see that it's flopping. It's not going to actually sell in the way that I anticipate it. And if you've got any questions, by the way, just put them in the chat and I'll keep coming into the chat and having a look at those as well as we go through. All right. Kate, based on what I see as I need through my coaching practice, I've identified an opportunity. Absolutely. I mean, that is definitely one way of validating that your course will sell because you have seen a need, with your own coaching clients. But we can actually take it further than that. We can even sell it before we create it. And some people go, oh, I don't know about that. I feel a bit uncomfortable. But wouldn't you rather actually know that your course sells first before you spend? And it can take 3 to 6 months to build a really good course, and try and sell it and then find out that it won't sell. So it's a good way of actually testing the water, not just will it sell, does it contain everything in it that needs to be contained in the course? And will people finish it as well? So these are things that you can test. All right. Now I call this the Secret Builder Club, if you like, the 6 month Secret Builder Club. And it's a very, very typical pattern that I see many of my clients go into. They have like this amazing big idea and they go into Canva. They create everything in Canva, their slides, their workbooks, everything. They have their slide deck. They've done all that work on the slide deck, and they spend months and months and months building it. And then they come to launch it, and they've seen online, people are promoting, launch your course and you'll be able to sell millions of pounds and millions of dollars worth of courses, and it falls on deaf ears. It actually is tumbleweed going by, and launching is hard work. Launching, you have to put a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of automation in place. And many, many of these people that end up making millions, they have got big teams behind them. They've got like 20 people in their teams, and they've got their sort of partners in crime that are also promoting their courses. So, of course, they're going to do millions of dollars. So, I want to be realistic and set your expectations. I mean, if you're going to sell your course, it could be hundreds or thousands. It may be tens of thousands of dollars that you can sell your course for. And there are ways to also guarantee that. There are things that you can set up to ensure that you will actually sell your course. But before we even get to that one, that's a whole new workshop. I'll do that next month. But before you even get to that place, let's see how you can make sure that your course will sell. So, what validation actually means is that you can speak to your friends and you can speak to like colleagues that know you well, and they'll be very supportive in what it is that you're doing. They'll say things like, "Oh yeah, that sounds like an amazing idea," or even even some of your coaching clients, for instance. I've had this where many of my coaching clients, they'll say, "Oh, I love that. That's such a good idea. I could do with a course on that because then I can watch it in my own time. I don't have to show up live, for instance." They're really, your mum, your sister, your best friend, they are not the people that really tell you whether this course is going to work or not. Not even your coach saying, yeah, let's do it, let's go for it. Because if you have a coach yourself, your coach will say to you, well, hold on, let's just pull it back a bit. Let's actually see if this course is going to sell first before we build it. So you want someone saying, Have they joined your waiting list? Have you put a waiting list together and have they joined that? Have they booked a call? Have they asked you how much it's going to be, what they'll actually pay for it? If no one is making those buying signals, you're not validated. The course itself is not validated. It's actually just beautiful, lovely, friendly encouragement, really. Okay, you know that feeling that everyone gets in January? You like it's the beginning of a year, it's a new thing that's happening, and everyone feels so excited. This is my year. This is where I'm gonna make it. And it's a lovely, lovely feeling. The thing is, it does actually wear off. It makes people build things quickly without thinking them through because we get so kind of excited and carried away with ourselves. And certainly, if you're serial entrepreneurs like I am, it's very easy to do that. The thing is that you have that new energy without validation, and it can become expensive for you because you might have invested in a course platform. For instance, you might have invested in an affiliate program so that you can have affiliates selling your course for you as well. So you've got all of those expenses and your enthusiasm is very, very high. But a bit like setting January New Year resolutions, after the first month, they sort of fade away, they disappear, your enthusiasm for it goes because you haven't sold any. When you know for sure that you've actually sold some of your course, it keeps the momentum, it keeps the energy. And we want to build on that energy month on month, particularly if you're going to sell it as an evergreen course as well. So let's actually define some of the problems that you might encounter. If your course description could also be like a scented candle, a scented candle is way too vague. A scented candle sounds beautiful. It sounds wonderful. It sounds fragrant. Of course, it sounds fragrant. But what is the fragrance? What is the smell? Like I've got a fragrant candle. I have to put it outside because it was a gift for me, which I'm very grateful for the gift, but I have to put it outside just so that I can smell it a little bit because it smells of chocolate and coffee. And it's not my most favorite smell. But if you would give me something like sandalwood or vanilla, those are smells I enjoy. So, what I'm saying is that the course is like that scented candle. You've got to make sure that the description really tells people what it is they're going to be learning. Okay, so confidence in what? Growth in what? Healing from what? What are they actually going to be gaining from your course? So, quite often it's, I'm going to be able to give you more confidence. Well, confidence in what area? What area is that? I'm going to be able to give you growth. Well, growth in what? Personal growth, business growth, relationship growth. What does that look like? What are they healing from? If you are healing, in fact, tell me what your businesses are as well. What is your particular niche? What if you're a healer? What are you actually healing? What are the people going to be healing from? This is what we call your transformation. What transformation are you offering to your clients? Specificity actually is the thing that sells. Vagueness is comfortable. And the thing is, we want those sales. So the more specific you can be, the better your course will sell. All right. So don't gloss over this area. When you're actually in that creation process, really go into detail. What is the transformation that these individuals will get if they complete my course? There's no guarantees, by the way, that they will complete your course, but essentially, there are other things that you can do to ensure that they do complete your course. But if you are very, very specific, again, I mentioned freedom. What does that freedom look like? Freedom looks different to me than it does to you. Freedom from a toxic relationship, free financial freedom. That does that mean financial freedom from all debts? Does that mean just freedom to have more money, to be able to travel more, to spend more time with family? What does freedom look like? So be very, very specific on what the outcome is of your course because we do want to have those sales. All right, so if you can't answer these without thinking for 5 minutes, then you're building a course without clarity. All right, so what are the participants actually frustrated about? So write that down for me. What are your potential participants actually frustrated about? So let me know in the chat. Okay. And remember to tell me what your niche is because that's not come up yet. What's your business niche? And the people that you're going to be potentially selling your course to, what are they actively frustrated about? Okay. So it shouldn't need more than a couple of seconds to think about that. Okay. What have they already tried to fix what it is that they're frustrated about? So again, write this down, share it in the chat for me. What are they actually frustrated about? What have they already tried, rather? Okay. And what happens if they don't fix it? So write those things down. That gives you the clarity on what your course is all about. So what are they actively frustrated about? What have they already tried? And what happens if they don't fix it? So if they don't fix it, for instance, it could be that they're trying to get out of a toxic relationship. We're building a course for a client at the moment on recovering after narcissistic abuse. So what happens if they don't fix it? Basically, they stay in that toxic situation. And even if they get out of that toxic situation, they go into other toxic situations. So they need to properly fix it. So let's see what we've got. Uh, People leaders having difficult conversations, tried leaving it too late, putting it off, not dealing with it well. If they don't fix it, things often get bigger and more complex. Yeah, yeah, most definitely. So you've got clarity around what it is um, that you're trying to accomplish with your course. So keep digging a bit deeper into that. Um, so so having difficult conversations with who? Um, who are they trying to have those conversations with? Um, with their employees, okay. Excellent. Okay. And putting it off. Why are they putting it off? What is it that what is it that they're fearful of by putting it off? What comfort does it give them if they're putting it off? And not dealing with it well. What does that actually mean, not dealing with it well? How does that manifest itself? Does it manifest itself in mental stress, wanting to not go into work? How does that manifest? Okay, so just really, dive into it. And sometimes here's a good point to take on board. Sometimes we are so close to it that we forget to articulate all of the detail. And the detail is actually quite important. So it's really important that you articulate that detail. Sort of step back years ago before you started this business and think about the frustration that you came across because quite often we build a course based on a need that we have had ourselves in the past. Okay. So, and I'm going to give you a trick of how to actually ascertain that a bit more in a little while. So, building the course without the clarity is essentially like renovating a house without knowing who's going to live in it. All right, you might love it and they might not. I mean, that is so true. The truth is that no one likes to say people don't buy transformation because it's inspiring. They buy because something is uncomfortable. Pe there is, you may have heard of this before. There are two kind of forms of motivation. One is coming away from pain motivation, and one is going towards something that's good, a reward, if you like. So, but quite often, the majority of people will be coming away from something rather than going towards something. We often think to ourselves, let's set goals and actually have it as something that we're heading towards. But really, most people are trying to get away from something. What is it they're trying to get away from? What is it that is harming them mentally, physically, financially? What is it that they don't enjoy about being where they are right now? And unfortunately, it's a huge marketing thing, and it's not something that I love. Marketing in the sense that let's actually pull on everybody's pain points. But if we actually are aware of what those points are, we know what the transformation is going to be clearly. Okay, so an urgency is not is a urgency becomes an emotional thing. So how much are they in that pain before they are ready to take action? What is currently really annoying them? What is embarrassing them? What is costing them money? What is wasting their time? That's where your course lives. But the way that you're going to promote it is to promote the transformation as opposed to the pain. So it might be that you'll mention the pain, but really what the transformation is. And you've really got to make them feel that. You've got to make them feel that they're not going to waste their time any longer, that it's not going to cost them loads of money any longer, that they're not going to be embarrassed, that they're not going to be annoyed any longer, that they're going to feel calm, they're going to feel that they're going to feel more in control of the situations that they're in. So ensure that you are really talking about the transformation. Okay, so here's the testing before you build it. Validation is really in the conversation, and there's lots of different ways of testing it. So, the first thing that we found out is that there's a demand for it. My clients want this. All right, so how many clients is that in reality? And you don't have to write this down, by the way. If it's like one or two clients, that is not a validation. That is just a few clients saying, yes, I could really do with this. Validation is more people saying, more people that are outside of your world saying that this is something that they need. So there's a few ways that you can test this. Um, a poll is a good way of testing it to actually do not just one poll, but several polls. And those polls could be something simple like putting it out onto a Facebook group or a LinkedIn group, asking questions. Now, just ask one question at a time. And it's the question isn't if I built this course, would you buy it? Because people are unlikely to say yes on that. It should be questions like, I'm building a course on X that will provide X, the transformation. Is this the transformation that you're looking for? Or state the transformation. I am looking for people that want to X. So those are your tests. You can put these polls in your own groups. You can put them out in other people's groups, just by asking a question. If you are active in groups, a great way to validate your course is, the tiles that you get, and just ask a question in the tiles. So when you ask that question in the tiles, and it's a non-committal question, because people don't like to make a commitment. If it's a non-committal question, they will actually actively answer your question. And then the next day, you can put a different question in there. The next day, you put a different question in there. And then you keep a record of the answers that have come back, because the answers will tell you so much. It really will tell you so much. Okay, so the second way would be a mini workshop. A mini workshop would be something like this. It could be a mini workshop that you do live. It could be a mini workshop that you've already recorded and that you start putting out there. So you see what the responses are to the mini workshop. And then at the end of the workshop, you would have a call to action for the individuals, which would be to either buy your course, to go onto a waiting list, or to book a call, something like that. So that actually then allows you the opportunity to take your research even further. So, talking about research, and I haven't actually added it on here, AI is a good way of researching as well. Now, AI is only any good if your prompts are excellent. And I have got a whole list of different prompts that you could use for your AI to actually do some real research because you want that research done based on perhaps other people that are selling similar courses. You want to know how many of those courses have been sold. Is it something that people are actively looking for? So your research can be done through Google. You can do your research there, or you can ask AI to do that research for you. So get it into the research mode and give it as much information about the course that you can, and then actually ask it, I would like you to do some research on whether this course is something that people are actively looking for, what the competition level is like. Is it a high level of competition? What we mean by a high level of competition, if you've ever used Google to do your research, you can actually do the research, which actually shows you is there a high volume of searches being done on this particular topic, and you might have to type in lots of variations of the topic itself to find out are people actively searching for this topic and what's the competition level. If the competition level is over 40, then you don't, that's actually probably too high in competition. You want it to be under 40. So this is where your messaging actually really gets tight because then you will find out, you'll call your course whatever the title is, but then within that you will put different search terms that people could be looking for within that course. So actually in the chat, just tell me what your course titles are. Um, so I use a Google search program called Key Search. Absolutely excellent for actually showing you what the competition level is, as opposed to how many people are searching for that thing. Now, a wait list. Okay, have either of you ever done a wait list? Let me know again in the conversation. Okay, so a wait list. This is a brilliant way of validating your course. So, you know about funnels. What you do is you create a wait list funnel. Basically, it's going to be a landing page that tells them all the information about the course, what's included. It's a bit like a sales page. So, you know how you see the pages that will actually sell a course. So you'll give the pain points. You'll actually tell them what the transformation is. You give them a forward pacing situation where you tell them imagine if. So that provides them with more of the imagination. And then what happens if you don't do this? And all of the things that are included in the course as well. So list the modules, list the lessons that are in the modules as well. And then you give them a start date. So this course starts in, let's say, June. Okay. Course starts in June. To be the first to know about the course and to get first buyer's offer, get on the waiting list. So they actually sign up to the waiting list. Now, if you don't get any sign-ups on that waiting list, you know that that course is not going to sell. You know absolutely categorically that it's not going to sell. So it might be that you need to change your messaging. The thing with the waiting list is that you treat it like a lead magnet. You basically go out and do your marketing on the waiting list. So you get the sign-ups via the waiting list. So you in your back end, you will actually see all the people that have joined the waiting list, and you know then that you've got people that you can actually sell this course to. So those are going to be the first people that you will sell this course to. Okay. Um, a would you join this post? It can work, so definitely give it a go. Would you join this course if? So do the validation. That's what I would prefer to see. Would you join this course if it da di da di da? Would you join this course if it was self-paced? Would you join this course if it was live in person? Would you join this course if it provided you with your transformation? So that's what you actually want to do with those posts. And again, with marketing, some of my clients come back to me and they go, well, I did this post and it didn't work. Okay, you have to try again. You have to do it in different groups. You have to do it on different social media. Um, Talk about it when you're going out networking. Tell people about the course that you're going to be creating, and is this something that they would find interesting? You just got to talk to a lot of people. They always say that there's actually 12 arms of marketing. You want 12 arms of marketing going out all the time. And you also want to try the same thing many different times. Because if you're only relying on social media, you've also got the things like the algorithm in play. You've got times when people are online, times that they don't see it. A very good way of doing a waiting list, by the way, is using Pinterest. Because Pinterest, you can actually have a wait list, lead magnet, if you like, that goes out all the time. So Pinterest is your long game. But if you have a link to a waiting list, your waiting list is being constantly filled up, and then you can look at promoting. So the promotion can be like a once every 6 months launch or a once a year launch, once every month launch. It's entirely up to you. Or it can be evergreen as well. Another way of doing this is a clarity call invitation, and that's what I will be inviting you to do, is to have a clarity call with me by the end of this, to actually see what you've done so far to validate your course. So, what we'll do is we'll talk about your course in a bit more detail. We'll actually find out what validation processes that you've already got into place, and I will give you a plan moving forward of a 30-day strategy that will help you to validate your course. Now, there are a few other things that I would actually do to validate my course. One of which is to actually ask people to come on a call and do a survey with you. Now, that survey could be sort of like 5 to 10 questions, and you won't sell the course to them at the end of it at all. It's purely research. And this has been one of my most successful ways of selling courses, where I've actually just gone out to people that that know me quite well, and I will say to them, "Hey, I'm looking for 10 volunteers to do a survey with me. It'll be on a call. Would you mind giving up like 10 minutes of your time just to do this quick survey?" So you get them on the call, you do the survey, and then you've got your answers. You're very, very clear on the answers to what's included in your course, what the heading is, what the transformation is. So you'll get some very, very clear answers. And I can tell you right now, 9 times out of 10, you will probably get a 90% conversion on the people that have done that survey without even selling to them. So my values are that I won't sell to them because they've done me a favor. But 9 times out of 10, they will ask the question, so how much is the course? When is it going to be available? They'll ask those questions. So I say to them, okay, well, the course is X amount and it starts so and so, but I am actually doing a discount for the people that have been on the survey. And I seriously, I will say to them, I'm not selling it to you. but because you've asked, I'll let you know. And they ask, and 90% of the people that come onto the survey will actually purchase the course. And it's so beautiful because they know that they need it. And it's not been a hard sell. And in fact, it's been a no sell win. So that's been very, very successful. Um, there was, oh yeah, that's right. The other way I wanted to let you know is also you can pre-sell your course. So this is another great way of sort of like the second stage, really, after properly validating your course. But I love this. I will always actually say to my students, pre-sell your course before you've actually built it. And what this means is, let's say that you have a 60-day window, and we usually operate on a 60-day window. In that first week of the first 30 days, you will do nothing else in your business but sell your course at a discounted price. So it could be like up to 50% off, even 75%. But 50% off of the course price, you will just sell your course, and you'll sell it in all of the different marketing methods that we've talked about: social media, networking, advertising. You'll just sell your course at a discounted price. And traditionally, it's called founding members, a founding members price. So you would actually do it as a founding members price. You sell your course, and all of my students are very, very successful with doing a pre-sale to the actual course itself. And if that's not validation, I don't know what is. Because, of course, what you've now got is you've validated your course will sell. You have buyers for your course. They buy it knowing that it's not going to be ready until the end of that 60 days. So you give them a time when you will actually make that course available to them. Now, what I always do with the students is um, I get them to provide those buyers with something prior to actually being on the course, so that they don't feel like they've been forgotten or anything like that. They are actually doing some work prior. So it's like the pre-course work that they can do before they get onto the course itself. All right. And to be honest with you, it is scary, but it is a super smart move. All right. So, because if you think about it, if people are willing to pay before it's built, you've got something. You definitely have something. And if no one buys it, you've saved yourself 6 months in creating that course. And you either know that the course itself needs tweaking, or you've got to ditch it. And it's not rejection, it's protection. You're protecting yourself against all of that work that you're doing. All right. Now, if you felt slightly attacked by that list, it's good. It means you're honest, and honesty is the beginning of your profitable course creation. Excuse me, let me just take a drink. Mm. Okay, so the workshop, I mean, the call that I'm inviting you to is basically a call to say to you, it's for you to say, I'm done wasting time, because I bring 30 plus years of experience of working with corporates, of working with individual clients, working with lots of students all at the same time, of doing many, many launches over the years. What we can do is I can actually shortcut your time and figure it out. Is your idea solid? Is the problem urgent? Is your positioning clear? And should you build it yourself, or should we build it properly together? Because building is the fun. It is actually fun building the courses, but selling is better. We do actually want to build it. So like I say, what we do on the clarity call is we refine the idea, we stress test the problem, we map out your validation strategy. So even at the end of that call, whether you decide to work with me or not, it doesn't matter. You'll still have a validation strategy that you can go off and you can implement and decide if you want to DIY your course or not. Okay, so your knowledge, I've always said this, and I'm very passionate about this actually. Your knowledge is valuable, really, really valuable. And I think as women, often we try and sort of hide our knowledge. We think that somehow people won't buy it, or it's not good enough, or we're not good enough. And it's one of the things that I'm really trying to help a lot of women break through is to say that your knowledge is valuable and it will actually help people. It will create transformations within people. But the knowledge is no good if it's sitting on a Google Drive folder and it helps absolutely no one at all. So I want to make sure that what you build this year, whether it's a brand new course you've never done it before, or whether it's a course idea that you've got sitting there waiting, or whether you've even built courses before, let's make sure that you build this one and it actually lands. And even if you've got existing courses, it might be that those ones just need tweaking. And it could need tweaking in the course itself, or it might need just the marketing around that. So if you want to book a call with me, this is the link that you need to use. I'll put it in the chat for you. So it's just calendly.com, Sunny Statari, and then slash Sunny Meet. And if you want to check out the website as well, it's santarastudio.com.